Hello, and welcome to our second webinar looking at positive strategies to manage perimenopause and menopause. As you might know, this is a four-part series, and we're very thankful that you're taking time out of your schedule to learn what you can do to live your best life. My name is Kristen Smith, and I'm the outreach coordinator for Oakdale OBGYN, and I'll be helping to moderate this webinar. I'm also joined by Andy Meyer, who is my technical consultant and promises to help me in case anything goes wrong. Our topic tonight is dreams, and we're going to be talking about lots of dreamy topics. We're going to explore how dreams change as we age and how dreams can be a clue to your inner being and also to your future self. A little bit of housekeeping before we move into our presentation. The handouts will be available after tonight's presentation on the website, and we will be recording it and posting it to our social media platforms as well as our YouTube channel, and it'll also be available on the website. If you want to share it with friends and family, we totally welcome you to do that. I know there's going to be a lot of questions, and we're going to save them for the most part until the end, unless one that is really relevant pops up. I think that's kind of what our plan is. And then if you want to ask a question, there's going to be a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. Just go ahead and put your question in there, and we'll work through those as time allows. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to our presenter, Dr. Angel Morgan. Dr. Morgan is founder of the Dream Bridge, which is an organization that helps people connect with their dreams and their creativity. She's the past president of the International Association for the Study of Dreams. She's also a transpersonal psychologist and professor and director of the Dream Studies Certificate Program at Sophia University. She's the author and illustrator of Alpha Bliss of Miss and The Dreamer's Powerful Tiger, a new lucid dreaming classic for children and parents in the 21st century. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Morgan.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. So in this presentation, everybody, we're going to look at how you can become a dream weaver, weaving dreams and creativity into your life in ways that are beneficial to you during this natural life transition. So dreams are multidimensional, and as we get older, we retain every age we've ever been within us. So we're going to start today by moving through a brief glimpse into earlier stages in life with dreams, starting with looking at dreams in childhood, dreams in adolescence, and then into menopause and beyond. So we will see how dreams change as you move through life stages and into menopause. We will also look at different dream experiences, starting with ordinary dreams and contrasting them with extraordinary dreams. We will look at how dreams are a clue to your inner being and future self. We will look at how we dream about what concerns us most, and we will look at our own dream language, how to figure that out. Dreams are honest about feelings, so we'll explore that a bit. And we will look at how dreams give us clues about health, diet, relationships, career, education, and spirituality. We will look at how you can explore and use your dreams creatively by looking at dream arts examples and exercises, and finally talking about dream community and dream education. So to start with, I'm going to play a very short video for you about dreams in childhood from Dreamer's Powerful Tiger.
Once upon a time, in a village near the edge of the jungle, lived a 5-year-old boy named Dreamer. Dreamer lived with his mother, father, sister, and grandmother in a bamboo hut perched on stilts. Like all other families in the village, every morning at breakfast, they shared their most memorable dreams from the night before. Usually, at least one of Dreamer's family members had a gift to share from a dream they had. His grandmother was offered songs from her dream allies, and his mother was taught new dances from hers. His father was often called Bridger, an honor that meant he was gifted with good ideas in his dreams for projects to contribute to the community. Others in the village supported his ideas with respect and helped him create them in the waking world. One such example of this was his design to help people cross the river nearby. To the dream people, dreams were considered the highest social authority. And since Dreamer's father's dream ideas usually worked, his helpers eagerly participated to help him, all the while referring to him as Bridger. Dreamer's 10-year-old sister Seer had recently discovered that she had the ability to dream important events before they happened. This gift was acknowledged and taken seriously by the community, and Dreamer's family listened in a different way to Seer's dreams, especially when she said she felt them to be this type of dream. One morning at breakfast, Dreamer began to cry hot tears into his rice and coconut milk. He had dreamed a terrifying nightmare. When he caught his breath, he told his family about the dream. In his dream, a fierce tiger, the animal that most threatened the lives of the dream people, was chasing him through the jungle to eat him. When he looked up from telling the dream, he saw that his sister was smiling. "Why is she smiling?" he asked. "That dream was not funny." His mother spoke softly. "Seer is smiling because when she was your age, she had the same dream. A tiger visits the dreams of all dream people children when they are ready to learn." "What does it mean?" Dreamer asked. Dreamer's mother traced with her finger a design she had carved into the table. It looked like this. "This is the dream world," she explained to him, "and this is the waking world." The dream people believed that these two worlds were equal in validity and importance. Dreamer's mother taught him that he weaved back and forth between the two worlds each day and night, and that he had to learn the differences between the two worlds so that he could grow healthy and strong in every way and bring joy and assistance to his people as he got older. Because dreams were respected, talked about, and weaved as bridges into waking life, the dream people had lived in peace with each other without violence and crime for more than 300 years. Then Dreamer's father spoke. "The tiger in the dream is your animal energy," he said. "Just like everything else in your dream, he is a part of you. It is important that you talk to this tiger. See if you can get to know him and become friends with him so he can help you and become your dream ally." "What will I say to him?" Dreamer asked hesitantly. "Ask him what he wants," his father instructed. "I know what he wants. He wants to eat me. I'm so afraid of him, Father. What can I do?" "You must learn to be a dreamtime warrior and face your fears."
Okay.
Once upon a time,
Sorry. So Dreamer's powerful tiger, the whole story helps start a dream conversation with children, grandchildren, and inner children. And I mention inner children because this book is something that a lot of my graduate students and doctoral students have enjoyed exploring and learning about dreams through their own inner child because they had never been educated about dreams as children. The Alpha Bliss of Miss is another book that I offer for 26 dream allies to empower the divine feminine. So negative language about dreams in Western culture has perpetuated negative associations. Books and movies always say bad dreams, it was just a dream or only a dream. And when something bad happens, what a nightmare. But when we realize we've been culturally belittling dreams, we can also decide we have the power to change those habits. All dreams are good if we understand that they speak in a dream language that can be learned, and they come in the service of healing and wholeness. So dreams mirror waking life development, and they also influence waking life development, like Dreamer's mother said on the table, right? So making dream sharing fun and natural for children is important. Young children often share dreams as soon as they can speak in their mother tongue, but they're not always able to articulate what they've been dreaming. That does not make their dream experiences any less profound or important. And Carl Jung had an example of that from his own childhood, a very powerful dream that he couldn't articulate until later. So ordinary dreams speak in a universal language of puzzles. Some can take many years for dreamers to solve, and most dream sentences are formed with symbols, metaphors, and puns. For example, a mother set the intention to cut all unhealthy cords between herself and her daughter that she felt were burdening their relationship. The next morning, the child awoke crying and reported this dream. I'm in the water and Mom is in the back of the boat. She has an old rope that she is pulling away from me. I'm reaching out for it, but I can't get it. There's a ring that I'm holding on to. All right, so let's look now at dreams in adolescence. What's different there? I'll give an example from an improvisational dream theater course that I have done in the past many, many times with young teens. This is the dream of 13-year-old Ruby. I'm in a green room with love seat and coffee table. I'm being chased around the furniture by a dragon and a little trollish looking person. We keep running in circles around and around. I'm screaming for help. So I asked Ruby to cast the dream, and she cast herself as herself, a boy as the love seat, me as the coffee table, another boy as the dragon, and a girl as the troll. After acting out the dream, I asked her, "How do you feel?" She said, "Scared, helpless, silly." "Well, what would happen if you turned around and faced them?" I asked. "I don't know, they might eat me." "Do you want me to help you?" I asked. "You're a coffee table," she said. "Yes, but in dreams, coffee tables can help you. Do you want me to?" "Yes," she said. So we turned to face them and they started running the other way. We ran after them and they yelled, "Help, don't get us." Ruby yelled, "Stop, we're not going to hurt you." And we all laughed, fell to the floor. And I advised Ruby to offer her hand in friendship and to tell her friends that they are her allies now. After the onset of puberty, often teens dream about love interests, sex, and crushes. And sometimes there's an attraction in waking life, but other times their crushes have talents and qualities that they identify with, respect, or admire, and they would like to integrate that into their own personalities. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. When dreams like these are shared, it helps to ask the teen, what is it about that friend, movie star, or musician that you like? And how would you like to be more like that? It's also normal for teenagers to experience nightmares about death. They're growing so fast toward adulthood and going through many changes. So dreams that feel negative are often metaphors for this growth and change and can actually be very positive. For example, apocalyptic nightmares can be a metaphor for a teen dreamer's entire world dramatically changing in waking life. So when she was 16, my daughter dreamed, I'm on an island. Fighter planes are flying overhead. Bombs are dropping from inside the planes, exploding everywhere. So now dreams in adulthood. There are ordinary dreams, extraordinary dreams, and we're going to do a somatic dream exercise. And somatic is the felt sense in the body. So we're going to experience something like that. Also, keep in mind there are many different kinds of dreams and many different ways of working with dreams. 4 ordinary dream functions are memory consolidation, problem solving, emotional processing, and future planning. So for this exercise, you may take notes for yourself, or just you will get a copy of these slides later, so you could do this on your own. This is something that you could do anytime on your own. So if you'd like to do it now, that's fine too. So the first step is to remember a recent memorable dream. I'll give a little bit of a pause in between steps for people who are doing this. What is the strongest emotion you feel in this dream? And as soon as you identify that, you write that down. Where do you feel this emotion in your body? Take a moment to just take a nice deep breath and explore where in your body you feel that emotion that's connected to that dream. Is it in your throat, your heart, your shoulder, your leg? Where is it? Then go ahead and name the emotion. Is it fear, sadness, joy, bliss? Give the emotion a name. In the past, when was the last time you felt this emotion? When and where was it? And who was there? Take a few moments to just write about that. And later you can take more time if there's not enough time right now. But you would journal about when and where was it and who was there. What were the details about you at that time and what was going on? If it helps for those of you doing this exercise now, you could just write a few key words rather than full sentences. What were the details about you at that time and what was going on? How did this affect your life, for better, worse, or both? How did this affect your life, for better, worse, or both? What lesson came out of this in one phrase or sentence as a result of this experience? What lesson came out of this in one phrase or sentence as a result of this experience? Now go back to the dream. What is the resemblance between the two experiences? What is the resemblance between the dream and the memory? Two experiences. Then think about what you have learned, and in a sentence, how can you apply this to your daily life? All right. So again, there are 4 ordinary dream functions: memory consolidation, problem solving, emotional processing, and future planning. So for that somatic exercise, you're going back into the past and thinking about what you can do for the future. So there's all of this going on.
So Angel, can I interrupt for a second
Sure.
and make this kind of a little bit more practical?
Yes.
So I did the dream exercise. I had a dream last week that my mother, who is 82, got lost in the woods. And my mom has vocal dysphonia, so she can't really talk. She has to whisper. And she got lost in the woods and she couldn't yell for help. And so she just sat down by a tree. And, I felt I felt that she was very fearful. I was very fearful and worried for her health.
Mhm.
And so I woke up the next morning and I was like, I got to do Find My Friends. My mom has a smartphone. I've got to put that on there. I texted my brother. I said, I had this dream about mom. And what do you think about this? And he said, I totally think that we should do that at Thanksgiving. And so when I'm thinking about that, what I came away with, and that the idea that dream led me to practically in my life, was that I need to plan for the future relative to my mom and getting Find My Friends on her phone and
Mm,
hooked up with me. Is that a way? I mean, I solved a problem. I was emotionally processing. And I was future planning. Is that kind of
yes.
what the whole intent of this exercise was?
Yes. I mean, that's a great example. That's a great example. And you had already thought about that before doing this exercise, or how did this exercise tie in for you in doing the somatic? Like, where did you feel it in your body?
Well, I felt it in my heart,
Okay.
and really worry and fear for her. But
Yeah.
I, because I already went through I already went through basically what the dream function exercise was. But I was thinking, if other people were working through this and trying to connect the dots, maybe that was an example that they could, they could understand how I worked through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great example. Thank you, Kristen, so much. Okay. Yes, and there are also extraordinary dream categories. So just moving through, we can come back if people have more questions about the somatic exercise at the end too. Krippner, Bogzaran, and de Carvalho wrote a book called Extraordinary Dreams and How to Work with Them. And this is also a text for a course I teach at Sophia University in the Dream Study certificate called Psychology of Extraordinary Dreams. And I'm going to just show the 14 different categories that we explore together in that course. And if there are questions about a specific category, then that can be one of your questions for the end. So if anyone has a question, go ahead and write that down for yourself or put it in the chat. But the dream categories that we have: creative dreams, lucid dreams, out-of-body dreams, pregnancy dreams, healing dreams, dreams within dreams, collective dreams, telepathic dreams, clairvoyant dreams, precognitive dreams, past life dreams, initiation dreams, spiritual dreams, visitation dreams. So a lot of times people ask, well, how do I get started with working with my dreams? And there are 2 ways that I like to approach this, kind of like bookends to the whole dream exploration process. And the first one is dream incubation, and then the other is dream journaling. So dream incubation before you go to sleep, dream journaling when you wake up. So for dream incubation, you write down a question that you would like answered or a topic that you would like to dream about. So if you have a problem you want to solve or something that you really just would like some dream guidance about, then place that under your pillow or beside your bed and light a candle. And you can hold a crystal if you like crystals, or you can take some sage into your hand or some mugwort and just rub it between your hands and breathe it in. Just make it a kind of a ritual for yourself. And then hold the intention to dream about your question or topic and verbalize it. I would like to dream about solving this problem. Or I would like to dream about, should I take that job? Or whatever the question is. Should I go back to graduate school? And then dream journaling. Some tips for dream journaling: writing dreams in the present tense. This can be very helpful, especially if you join a dream group later and you get into dream sharing. And so the difference between I dreamed that I was being chased by a tiger, and in my dream, I am being chased by a tiger. So writing it, really taking your dream journaling back into the dream, re-entering the dream. Or instead of I was walking down a path, I am walking down a path. So you're really present with it. Paying attention to your sleep hygiene and habits. So getting enough sleep, having a very comfortable environment for your sleeping. But again, dream recall is really tied into getting enough sleep, because you don't get to those REM cycles, and the REM cycles are where most people tend to remember their dreams from the most. Although you do dream in other sleep stages, those are the ones that are the most remembered. So making sure that you go to bed early enough and you get enough sleep during the night, whatever works for you, because people are unique that way. But just paying attention to that, making sure you get enough sleep. And then learning your dream language, paying attention to metaphors, symbols, and puns, and knowing that even though they are most ordinary dreams all have that universal language of metaphors, symbols, and puns, each of us uniquely have associations to those. So for example, what a black cat means to me in my dream might not be the same thing that a black cat means to someone else in their dream. So paying attention to what the different elements in your dreams mean for you, so that when they come back again, you say, oh, well, when I dream about dogs, for me, that tends to be about loyalty. So you can look at your dream in a certain way. But it wouldn't mean loyalty for everybody. How are dreams a clue to your inner being and future self? Okay, so moving through our life stages, we dream about what concerns us most at that time. Sometimes and we dream about past, present, and future. So sometimes what concerns us most is about something we're processing from the past. Sometimes what concerns us most is something in our future that's calling to us, or something in the very present, something that happened yesterday or right before I went to bed. And again, we all have our own dream language. Dreams are honest about our authentic feelings. So maybe during the day, we might feel detached or separated from how do I feel about something. But a dream, once you learn your own dream language and you can get behind what the puzzles look like on the surface, you can really discover what you authentically feel about what's happening in your life. So dreams give us clues about our whole selves: health, diet, relationships, career, education, spirituality, and more. But I'll give an example from the Dreamitarian diet. And this term was coined by Ed Kellogg. So in the Dreamitarian diet, pay attention to food in your dreams. Sometimes dreams will give us signs about what would be nourishing or healthful for our bodies at that time. So if there's a big glowing glow around certain fruits and vegetables or grains or whatever, then try eating that and see how that feels. Then there is another kind of dream where when people aren't taking care of their bodies and they aren't eating very well, sometimes they might have a dream like this, where they see a bunch of junk food wrappers in a garbage can. So that kind of a dream could also be a signal to wake people up to their diet and what would be most beneficial for them to be eating. So how can you explore and use your dreams creatively? Let's look at some dream arts examples, starting with ancient Egypt. And throughout history, there are examples of dream art that is loosely defined as art about dreams. So if we look at this example from ancient Egypt, and then this one from India, and then this one, Jacob's Ladder, 16th century. Moving through history, we see some examples, the dream with Asclepius, the nightmares, a famous piece of dream art you may have seen. Zhuangzi dreaming of a butterfly, or is it a butterfly dreaming of Zhuangzi? And here's some American 19th century dream art. And then in the 20th century, something different started happening. So let's go back. When you look at all of these examples of dream art, you see that the dreamer is represented in the art. So you see the dreamer and the dream together in the art. But then in the 20th century, with the surrealists, and we can see here these examples from Rousseau's The Dream and Salvador Dali's work that has been referred to by himself as hand-painted dream photographs. Also, to heighten the visual intensity of his dreams, he liked to sleep with an intense light on. So you can see that what they started to do was show the dream landscape without the dreamer being represented. Frida Kahlo is by far the most famous woman who was a surrealist artist in the 20th century, but she was not the only woman surrealist artist. So there were several others, and here is a handful of them. Helen Lundeberg, Remedios Varo, Dorothea Tanning, Kay Sage, Leonora Carrington, Merritt Oppenheim. And just a couple examples of the art, Remedios Varo's. You may know these, Leonora Carrington. And then in the 21st century, what started happening with dream art? These are examples from the IASD, the International Association for the Study of Dreams. And from now on, I'll just say IASD. These are some examples from the annual June conferences. There's always a juried dream art show. And what started happening in the 21st century with dream art, here are a couple of examples. The filters in the 21st century, photography, we have new filters that people started using in their dream art. Here's some photography by Bhaskar. And then Deirdre Barrett's digitally manipulated photography. Okay, so computerized art has been a new development with dream art, and you can do a lot more. Here's a dream painting by Alaya Danu in the ISD's Dreams and Ethnicity portal. I love that painting, beautiful. And then if we look at literature and theater, Mary Shelley's dream-inspired Frankenstein was also put on the stage as Presumption, the Fate of Frankenstein. And the poet, novelist, playwright, screenwriter, designer, and filmmaker Jean Cocteau wrote plays and then films that were dream-inspired. But there are, this slide says 94, but now there are well over 100 dream-related films in the ISD's Dream Video File Index of films and documentaries that Deirdre Barrett from Harvard University has reviewed. So anyone can Google that and find it. There are dreams in film and television as well. 20th century television had dream sequences. I'm sure there's some famous ones you can probably recall. But in the 21st century, it's become more popular to for fictional TV shows to either address dreams in the dialogue or artistically translate them. Dreams have inspired music for, abundantly for a long time, and they continue to do so. And dreams have inspired dance. Martha Graham is a very famous choreographer who was inspired by dreams. And one of the ways that I conduct phenomenological research on the link between dreams and creativity is through documentary filmmaking. And something that I found was that with performance-oriented artists, their perspectives on dreams tended to focus more on feelings about their creative work as performers. And they generally saw dreams as tools to help their creativity and performance in waking life. And that was in contrast to what I found with visual artists who had a more spiritual perspective of the link, and literary artists who found healing through the link. All right, so now how can you explore and use your dreams creatively? Let's do, there are a lot of dream arts exercises, but let's think about this for a moment. Rollo May compared the divining aspect of dream creativity to the Oracle of Delphi. He said that although dreams give us messages and information to work with, our creativity is called upon when we must decide what to do with that information. Since ancient Greece, this is what has been expected of recipients of such oracles. He wrote, the value of dreams, like these divinations, is not that they give a specific answer, but that they open up new areas of psychic reality, shake us out of our customary ruts, and throw light on a new segment of our lives. Thus, the sayings of the shrine, like dreams, were not to be received passively. The recipients had to live themselves into the message. All right, so to begin with, what exactly is dream bridging? And dream bridge is the work I do. But if you look at Dali's mustache here, we have the waking world weaving into the dream world. And here's the waking world and the dream world. So to dream bridge is to consciously transform an experience during sleep into a creative form of expression that can be shared with others in the waking life world. And there are many ways that you can do that. So if here's the center, here's dream arts. And then here in this diagram, we have many different ways that dreams can be expressed artistically. So through theater and film, dance, music, literary arts, visual arts, nature arts, culinary arts. These are just examples. It's not an exhaustive list, but it's a list to help you start thinking about it, all the different ways. So in this exercise we're going to do now, there are many ways to express creativity, and we just looked at that diagram. The first thing I'd like you to do is make a list of the ways you express your creativity or would like to. So we're going to go back to this diagram and just take a minute to make your own personal list of how you like to express yourself in the waking life world creatively. And if there's something that you like to do that is not on this list, go ahead and put that on your list as well. Okay. All right, now go ahead and think about the dream that you worked with today. And if you didn't work with a dream, think about the dream, any dream that you thought about earlier when I asked you to think of a dream to work with. even if you didn't do the somatic exercise. Just think about that dream. And then think about your creativity list. And the next step is to think about which one would be a good match for your mode of expression, one that would help you create a piece of art from your dream art. So if you wrote down writing, acting, and tap dancing, which one of those? Or cooking, which one of those would be a good match to express the dream that you worked with today? And the next step is in your waking life to dream bridge the piece into being. And then the final step is to share your creation with others who will appreciate it. Very important. All right, so finally, how can you explore and use your dreams creatively? One way is dream community. And I would love to share this as a resource for all of you, the ISD website, asdreams.org. And next June in Ashland, Oregon, where I live, I'm going to be co-hosting this conference for the IASD. And I don't know if you can see that with the share screen, but anyway, if you go to the main website, you can click on this event and learn more about it. But a dream community is a really wonderful way to explore dreams and to use your dreams creatively, especially if you're a dream artist. There's an art show. If you have ways that you would like to get more involved in morning dream groups and all kinds of wonderful events happening at this conference. I also encourage you, if you're interested in learning more about dreams and dream work and the Dream Creativity link, to become a member of ISD, because there are publications and all kinds of wonderful ways that you can stay connected with that community. And another way is through dream education, and especially in this life transition, a lot of times in midlife, people do think about going back to school and getting another degree or a certificate. So at Sophia University, I am directing the Dream Studies Certificate Program. And there are those two options. There's working on it as a standalone certificate, and there's also an option to apply that toward a master's degree or a PhD in transpersonal psychology. And that is the link to learn more about that. And finally, there are many, many dream arts resources on my website, thedreambridge.com. So I encourage you to explore that as well and contact me there if you'd like. And that is the end of my presentation, and I'm ready for questions whenever you are, Kristen. Thank you all.
Thank you. That was pretty interesting. I am a little curious about how you talked a lot about children and adolescents and what happens to people who are experiencing perimenopause and menopause. What happens to those, how does it change? Does it reflect more what we're going through interpersonally? Does it reflect more about our stage in life, what's going on with our families and friends, etc.?
Right, exactly. So one of the reasons I built this up through life stages is to show really, it's not like we are, we're cookie cutouts from, this is us as a child, this is us as a teenager. It may seem that way sometimes looking back on our lives, but really we're all, we're the same person, and we hold all of those memories inside of us and all of those experiences in our bodies and all of that. So the way that dream education is offered to children and parents and teenagers. All of those things apply as we move into midlife and menopause. Things are happening in our lives that are different and new. And I know in this series, this wonderful series that you're offering, people are thinking about that from other angles as well. So when you look at all of the things that are changing and happening in this natural life transition, sometimes it's comfortable, sometimes it's uncomfortable, but whatever it is, your dreams are an excellent resource for getting in touch with how you really feel about what's happening, and also giving you ways of solving those problems. And, as they come up, because, life is full of problems, no matter whether you're a child, a teenager, going through menopause, or, into old age.
That makes excellent sense. So I was kind of starting to think a little bit about, would you encourage people who are participating to start talking about their dreams with loved ones and with girlfriends, that type of thing, if just to even start talking about it? Because there's so many people that they don't talk about their dreams.
Yes. And I've written a lot about that, the healing power of dream sharing. There's a Huffington Post article I wrote on that. You could find. Absolutely. Please, share your dreams. It's so healing and so affirming, because dreams are authentic. If you're sharing a dream with someone, there's a space of trust that you're building, because you're sharing a very authentic part of yourself. So, we need more authentic, trustful relationships in our lives and groups in our lives. And that said, I should have prefaced this with, find people who are also interested in dream sharing. You've probably all experienced this, or some of you, or most of you, where you share a dream with someone and they are like, that's weird, or they judge you, or they don't appreciate what dreams are offering. And that's something I've also written about a lot as well. And so as a culture, part of what I'm doing with dream education is I'm wanting to shift that culturally and even globally, so that we can see the value of dreams and the importance of dreams. But in the meantime, please find people who will appreciate the dream sharing experience. And that's one of the wonderful things about the resources I shared at the end, because those are all communities where people do appreciate dream sharing. Yeah, but you can do that in your family, like Dreamer, the example of a Dreamer and his family and girlfriends, and cool. It's a wonderful bonding experience.
So we do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
The first one is, what does it mean when I never ever remember a single dream within seconds of waking up?
Okay. So part of that has to do with, brain chemistry, actually, because what happens is, when we are sleeping, the chemistry shifts from the prefrontal cortex back. So most of it is inside and in the back of our heads. And when we wake up, it shifts back to the front. So here's an interesting thing. When you're laying in bed, if you get up really quickly or the alarm goes off, you're pretty much erasing your dream recall, kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch is a metaphor that I use. So something I suggest is to keep your dream journal or your phone or your recording device, however you like to journal your dreams, keep it very close. Like I keep my dream journal, I keep a sketchbook actually, keep it on my bed. So I barely have to move to get to it. And that can really help. Also having an alarm that is more gentle, not a loud jarring alarm, but something very gentle that it'll wake you up, but you can still not move as much. So that's one reason. There are other reasons, but that tends to be a common one.
All right. Another question was, how can I reduce violent and disturbing dreams? I have them several times a week and they can put a damper on my day. This has been happening most of my life.
Yes, yes, thank you for that question. And I do have another article, it's a Huffington Post article about you will never view violence in dreams the same way, it's called. And that's because, yeah, sometimes we are working things out in our dreams. And if there's anger or if there's things that need to be transformed through death and rebirth, things like that in our dreams, it will be expressed violently. I would recommend, honestly, I would recommend reading Dreamer's Powerful Tiger and looking at that story through the eyes of your inner child and taking those lessons that are taught to Dreamer, because in that story, what happens is this tiger is chasing the boy, and this is a natural developmental nightmare that children have. And it's not always a tiger, sometimes it's a witch or a troll or some, unknown figure. But most children do have those dreams. And then, so anyway, the family members all give Dreamer advice from their perspective, and they offer to come into the dream and to help him. And he tries to befriend the tiger, but the tiger is stubborn, and that's his animal energy that's stubborn. So eventually, the father helps spear the tiger, and they transform the tiger completely into a friendly tiger, a loving tiger, an ally. So there's a lot that can happen with dreams when you work with dream reentry or inner work with nightmares, with dreams that are violent. They can be transformed. So I would recommend the two things: Dreamer's Powerful Tiger and the article, the Huffington Post article about you will never view violent dreams the same way.
I'm wondering, you mentioned that one and also the healing power of dream sharing. I think I'd like to get those articles, and we could also post them on the website.
That sounds good. I'll get those to you.
I think that'd be great. Can we, in our dreams, actually change our behavior when we are dreaming and having the dream? So if the tiger is chasing you and you turn around and show it love and affection, can we actually change our behavior in the dream?
Yes, that is called lucid dreaming. And that is actually, again, in the title, the subtitle for Dreamer's Powerful Tiger is A New Lucid Dreaming Classic, right? So it's a primer for children and inner children to learn lucid dreaming techniques. So eventually Dreamer, he kept talking to his family members and then going to sleep. It was a process. It wasn't a one night, this is fixed. It was, well, first mom has something for me, then my sister has something for me. And each time a family member has wisdom to share with him, he goes back into the dream and remembers what they told him. So he makes decisions in the dream and becomes more and more lucid.
Thank you very much. We have no more questions unless somebody else wants to chime in and ask a question. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to add? I think this is a very fascinating area of work, for sure.
Thank you. I agree. It's up. Is there more in the chat now?
I think that's just Andy letting people know that the dreams, that the presentation will be on the website following the webinar.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, well, anything else that I would like to add is just that I would like to thank you for inviting me to speak about this. And it really is something that, especially since the pandemic, more and more people globally, their sleep schedules shifted. They started remembering more and more dreams. They started talking about dreams more often. And so the programs and the resources I shared are really very active right now, globally. So please, if you are remembering more dreams, if you are, if you've had changes in your sleep schedule, I really hope that this presentation today has offered at least 1 or 2 nuggets for you to help you work with your dreams.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really enjoyed it. I hope people watching did as well. So thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you.